Hi, thank you for joining me today on my channel. My name is Raven Burns, and today I wanted to talk about why I believe meditation is so important. Meditation has become very mainstream, so if you say that you meditate, there aren't too many people that are going to give you any side eye. It's very common to meditate, and people view it as a good thing, so you're not likely to get any kind of flack for meditating. So while it's a good thing that it's accepted, I don't like that it has diluted its real power to some extent. People can kind of look at it as simply a stress relieving tool, which it is, as all spiritual practices help us relieve our stress, but I don't look at that as the end goal of meditation. So I just wanted to share why I believe meditation is so important, especially for someone on the Wiccan path. First of all, meditation teaches you to train your mind. Our minds are not our spirits. Our minds are conditioned by the ways of this world, by various insults and put downs we may have gotten over the course of our lifetimes. They're governed by the news media, by parents, and whatever their hang-ups and fantasies were for us. In other words, we take in a lot of input from the world, and that trains how we think and what we think about. Meditation teaches us to separate the thoughts that come from the world and the thoughts that come from our higher selves. Okay, so by slowing it down, by letting go of thinking, even if it's only for 5 minutes, you're separating yourself from that conditioning, and over time it becomes second nature. So training your mind is essential. And not only that, but the practice of training your mind, because your thoughts will never 100% turn off. They will turn off for periods of time, and those periods of time will get longer and longer the more you meditate and the more years you meditate. But you'll never be able to banish thought altogether, nor do you want to. Thoughts have their place. But what you want to do is to be able to come back to the thoughts that you want. So when you're meditating, and if your mind begins to wander away into lists and worries and various things that you've thought 100 times before, meditation trains you to bring your thoughts back to the breath or whatever it is you're meditating on. And that is a practice that will follow you into your regular life. So, for example, let's say you walk into work completely at peace, okay, that probably isn't the state of mind of the rest of the people you work with. So, at some point you may feel dragged back into drama or gossip or negativity of various kinds. And if you are accustomed to bringing your mind back to what you want it to be on, then you will not be overcome by these situations. So you may get caught for a minute, and then you'll be able to bring your thoughts back in alignment with what you truly believe in, no matter where you are or who you're around. So that is one of the many values of meditation. It teaches you to know from experience what deep peace is, and that has really been invaluable for me. When people will begin to notice that you simply carry a sense of peace with you wherever you go, and it happens gradually over time. As a witch or as a Wiccan practitioner, you learn how to tap into energies anyway, into auras and energies of other people and situations. When you meditate regularly, you begin to carry around you a sense of well-being that is palpable first to you and eventually to other people as well, where people will just say that they feel calmer when you're around, or they'll notice, like, why are you so peaceful in this chaotic situation? And The reason is because you are used to training your mind, back to point number 1. So it's something that you eventually carry with you always. Okay. Next, meditation allows space for the goddess to send direct messages. So normally when we are going about our daily routines and we're caught up in this person's needs and that person's needs and our body needs like hunger and sleep and so on, it's very easy for the needs of the higher self, or not needs, the higher self really doesn't need anything, but we forget to focus and pay attention to our higher self when we're worried about all these other things. So when we stop for however long you meditate, whether it's 1 minute or 1 hour, during that time where you're focused on nothing but your higher self, the goddess can send messages directly to you. And the messages aren't necessarily a voice, or, the messages are generally senses of knowing. It can feel like a voice because it can be so clear. But I've gotten so many revelations, so many breakthroughs emotionally, so many intuitive hits, so many creative ideas for things to do in my career or in my artwork or my writing or in my life. So I wouldn't give up that time for anything in the world. And everyone is busy. Everyone has an excuse for why they can't meditate, but I would rather trim that half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever it is, from any other area of life, because that time is precious to me, because I see the benefit of it. And that's one of the benefits, is that you will get direct messages from the goddess. Okay. Another reason why meditation is so important for a Wiccan practitioner in particular, but for anyone on a spiritual path, is that it allows you to integrate everything that you're learning. So whatever it is you're studying, it's only head knowledge until it becomes a part of your practice. And it's hard for it to become a part of your practice until it seeps into your subconscious. Your conscious mind may know certain facts or be aware of certain principles, but when you integrate it during a period of meditation, when you study something and then go into meditation, it becomes a part of you in an inexplicable way. And if you continue to do that over time, you'll find yourself acting on the stuff that you read. Not just telling people about it, but it's coming from deep within. And that's the whole point. The point is not just to know stuff. The point of a spiritual path is to begin to practice. Okay. Meditation allows you, as I mentioned before, to tap into your intuition. And now, as a Wiccan practitioner, as a witch, or as any spiritual practitioner, intuition is essential. Intuition is essential not only for your spellcraft and your actual practice, but in your regular life. It's essential because intuition allows you to know how to respond to your romantic partner. It allows you to make accurate decisions at work. It allows you to make quick decisions when you need to. Your intuition allows you to avoid accidents during traffic. Tapping into your intuition is absolutely essential, and meditation is the best practice that I know of to develop your intuition. Okay. It allows you, especially if you do it in the morning as soon as you get up, which I do. Actually, that's not true. I study and then I meditate because, as I mentioned before, it helps me to integrate everything that I'm learning. So, but all of that is the first fruit of my day. So the first hour of my day is study and meditation. So when I sit down to meditate, that sets the tone for the rest of the day. So I don't start the day worrying about money or other people's needs or the weather or politics or racism or anything, what someone said to me yesterday that hurt my feelings, none of that. I start the day focusing on the truth of the goddess, the truth of my higher self, the things that are truly important to me and that I want to focus on for the rest of the day. Now, the rest of the day is going to bring whatever it's going to bring. But when I start the day this way, I'm ready for it. And that's invaluable. Okay. Another thing is that meditation teaches you patience. Okay, because meditation is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a get-spiritual-quick scheme. There's nothing quick about it. Meditation itself takes practice. Learning how to train your mind is difficult for most people at first. So learning how to meditate just by itself takes patience. But seeing the fruit of meditation takes a lot of patience, okay? Now, you may, as a newbie, get some immediate phenomenon that happens. When I first started meditating, I did see colors and lights, and I grew very quickly, and it was very exciting. But I've been meditating for like 15 years. So in the beginning, yes, there was a lot of growth, but there were dry spells. There were some dry spells, okay? So because I believe in meditation, I waited through those dry spells because you don't know when the breakthroughs are going to come. So if it's a haphazard practice, then your results will be equally haphazard. For example, if you work out, if you exercise once every month, once every blue moon, you can't realistically expect to see any results. And the same thing is meditation. If you wait to feel like meditating, it may never happen, okay? And not only that, but if you're waiting till you feel like it, then most likely your life has gotten so out of control, or you're under so much stress and pressure that you don't know what else to do. So when you sit down to meditate, you're not going to be able to do it because you've waited until you're at the end of your rope, and you haven't developed a habit of training your mind. So it's not something that you can do all of a sudden, okay? It's something that you have to cultivate. So, and what you will experience is that deep sense of peace. So that can be an immediate effect. But the real effects of meditation take months and years to come about, just like anything else. Just like education, just like health and exercise. The things that matter in life take time to build. Good relationships, solid friendships, those things take time. There is no rush, there's no shortcuts, none of that. So it teaches us patience and discipline, which is important on the craft as well, because when we cast a spell, we release it. We don't know how it's going to come about. We just have faith that it will. And we free it, we release it into the universe for it to happen in the best way possible for the highest good of all. And we release it. And so when we sit down and begin a meditation practice, we release the results. We trust that it's a good thing in our lives because we've seen the testimony of others, and then eventually we see the results in our own life. So one simple way, if you don't know how to meditate, I've talked about why it's so important. There are many, 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 many different ways to meditate. One of the simplest is focusing on a candle. I have a candle behind me. Light a candle and just focus on the light for 1 minute. If you're brand new and you've never meditated before, that can be enough. You're not commenting on the candle in your mind. You're not judging the candle light. You're not thinking about, what if it goes out? You're not thinking about anything. And when you do start thinking, you bring your mind back and you just look at it. And you're just taking it in. You're just appreciating it for what it is. Okay. Another simple way is just to focus on the breath. You concentrate on your nostrils, and you see in your mind's eye the breath going in, sustaining your life, and then you release it, and then you see it coming in. And anytime your mind wanders, you bring it back to that nostril and focusing on the breath. So those are both beginner, easy ways to pick up meditation. There are many ways to do it, but I recommend either of those for a beginner who wants to get started. So I hope I have convinced you that meditation is important. And more important than that, I hope you begin your practice as soon as possible. So as always, you are beloved of spirit, you matter, you are important, and peace and love from the goddess. Blessed be.